Is Jesus all alone in heaven? This question might seem naive, but I would like you to consider it. The reason being that so many Christians seem to assume that I am all alone up here with God. Because of the cult of idolatry built around my outer person, many people believe in ideas that would seem to indicate that I am on some kind of ego trip. If they think I am the only Son of God, it follows that they think I am the most important being in heaven, and that I want all people to see me as such. This is a completely flawed idea. The Bible itself contains the statement, God is no respecter of persons. The meaning of this statement is that God does not respect the high and the mighty on earth, yet it also applies to the beings in heaven. In heaven there are no favorites. No spiritual being is more important than another spiritual being. God has no favorite son. To God, all of his sons and daughters are favorites. How could there be favoritism and rivalry in heaven when we all recognize that everyone is an individualization of God? How could one individualization of God possibly be more important than any other individualization of God? This simply does not make sense. Once again, the problem is that human beings reason backwards and project human qualities, namely the favoritism and the value judgments springing from the death consciousness upon God. I want to be absolutely certain that you realize that I am not alone in heaven. I also want you to understand I am not the only spiritual being who is working with planet Earth. I am not the only spiritual teacher ever to come to humankind. I am a team player. I see myself as being part of a team, and I am not the leader of that team. We are a group of spiritual beings who are constantly working to inspire human beings, what we call unascended spiritual beings, to raise their state of consciousness. This is a spiritual brotherhood and sisterhood. There is no competition or rivalry among us. We are truly one in our desire to serve God and to help bring all of his sons and daughters back home. You will see this spiritual team referred to in the Bible as the heavenly host. Throughout the ages, our spiritual team has worked with people in many different cultures. Our team has inspired all of the true religions found on this planet, and today we are continuing to inspire anyone who is willing to raise his or her consciousness and listen. Some spiritual beings on our team have never descended to planet Earth and taken on a physical body. However, most of our team members did descend to Earth, as I did, and wore the same kind of physical body that you are now wearing. I am telling you this because I want you to understand that we who are your spiritual teachers are no different from yourself. Human beings are so quick to turn anyone who rises above the crowd into an idol. We have no desire to become human idols, but we do have a desire to be seen as examples for all to follow. When a spiritual being descends to planet Earth, that spiritual being takes on the same kind of physical body that you are wearing. That spiritual being faces the same challenges that you are facing. Many of the spiritual beings that are now with me here in heaven have gone through the same process that you are going through. They fell into a lower state of consciousness and lost the memory of their divine origin. They followed a systematic path that allowed them to gradually climb back into a state of consciousness in which they could finally ascend back to heaven. What one has done, all can do. I am telling you this because I want you to realize that what one human being has done, all human beings have the potential to do. I descended into a physical body, and I had to go through a process before I could qualify for my ascension. Contrary to popular belief, my ascension was not guaranteed. It was subject to my free will, and I did indeed have the potential to fail. Yes, I want you to realize that the Jesus Christ whom you consider to be above and beyond you did indeed have the potential to fail. I could have refused to walk the spiritual path and attain Christ consciousness. I could have refused to go through the crucifixion, and I actually asked God to take that cup away from me. Yet I also said, not my will, but thine be done. By the grace of God, and by my own free will choices, I did walk the path. I did attain Christ consciousness, and I did ascend back to our Father's kingdom. Yet to do that, I had to follow the exact same path that you are now following, even if you do not realize that you are following the spiritual path. I had to take on a physical body, and I had to make choices just like you are now making choices. I want you to realize that there are many beings in heaven, and I would like you to consider them to be ascended beings or ascended masters. These beings are not fundamentally different from you. They were once embodied on planet Earth, and they faced the same trials and challenges that you are facing. I can assure you that some of these beings made the same and, in many cases, even more severe mistakes that you have made. They faced situations that were fully as difficult as the situations you are facing. Yet the very fact that these live streams were able to make it back home demonstrates that you too can make it back home. Let me now mention a few people from the Bible who are now ascended beings and part of the team of which I too am a part. My beloved Mother Mary is today an ascended master who is the feminine counterpart of Archangel Raphael. My beloved father, Joseph, is today an ascended master, and I will later tell you more about him. My beloved Magda is an ascended master, and so is my beloved Paul. The same is true for John the Baptist and John the Beloved. Over the past 2,000 years, a number of people have ascended, and some of them were indeed Christians. The best known is my beloved Saint Francis. There are also many ascended masters who were not Christians. The most well known is no doubt my beloved brother of light, Gautama Buddha. Yes, there is indeed no rivalry between myself and the founder of the beautiful philosophy of Buddhism. Another one of my brothers of light founded the philosophy of Taoism, and yet another the philosophy of Confucianism. I am also a brother of the Lord Krishna, who is my Eastern counterpart. Krishna brought the knowledge of the Christ consciousness to the East, as I brought it to the West. In heaven, we are all brothers and sisters. On earth, human beings have allowed the relativity of the death consciousness to divide them. I speak for all of my brothers and sisters when I say that we all desire to see the formation of a universal brotherhood and sisterhood on planet Earth. This does not mean that we desire to see all people join a particular outer religion. On the contrary, we desire to see people from every religion decide to follow the universal inner path that I describe in this book. We desire people from every walk of life to recognize that a person who follows that universal path is one of their brothers and sisters in spirit. We desire you to love these brothers and sisters as you love yourself. I am Jesus Christ, and I desire you to love your brothers and sisters as I have loved you and as I still love you. In heaven, all interactions are based on love. If God's kingdom is to become manifest on earth, someone must begin to embody that divine love. Someone must begin to treat everyone with divine love. That someone must be a person who recognizes the inner path and who dares to follow that inner path. My beloved heart, that someone could be you.